Hooked On Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first. Hi there, Chris Bungard, helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Well, if you're looking at a little bit of local trout fishing around the place, it could be just a ticket for the weekend. Quite scruffy forecast for out on the ocean over the next couple of days. They're talking nor'westerlies up to 35 knots on Saturday out in the Bay of Plenty, so that's not going to be pleasant. It won't be pleasant up in the Coromandel either. We'll come back to that in just a moment. Look, have a look at the local trout fishing around the Waikato and the Bay of Plenty region here, because at the moment, Lake Arapuni and Karapiro are fishing very, very well. The small stream mouths, I mentioned it a few weeks ago, particularly the upper reaches of Arapuni now. There's the Tumai, the Mangafus, various other little streams that run into that lake, especially up the top end. Now, what it is at the moment is the lake is still very, very warm. And we still had 28 degrees yesterday, so it's very hot for this time of the year. And these stream mouths are running very, very cold. Now, what it is the trout love to sit in there. Now, they might not always feed when they're sitting in those stream mouths, so be a bit patient. Sometimes you can spot them. You get a good pair of polarized glasses on and you can see the trout there and you think, why am I presenting all these flies and spinners? And in the Waikato lakes, you're allowed to use worms as well, and they just won't take. Well, be patient, because at certain times of the day, they will come on, they will feed. They just rest up there quite a lot, but as I said, just a little bit of patience and the good fish will come about your way, I'm sure of it. In the Rotorua region, talking to Glenn Skinner down there, and he tells me that Lake Rotorua itself continues to fish well. Now, local guy Brendan Fernie has been down there thrashing some of the local streams and been a wee bit frustrated. Once again, he's seen the fish there and had trouble getting them to take a certain fly and that sort of thing. Then you talk to somebody else who's catching them and their particular fly seems to be working. So it's all about trying to match the hatch. In other words, match what they're feeding on. So just take notice of what other people are using, or even ask them. Most fishermen are very obliging. Look, I'm using this little doll fly, or I'm using this little dry fly, you know, but some particular fly. Match the hatch and I'm sure it'll help. Out on the lake itself, Rotowiti in particular, the jigging is going very well there, and Glenn's very excited about the way it's been fishing over the past week. Thinks it could continue this weekend, but watch out for that wind. 35 knots on Rotowiti might not be that pleasant, so if it does come about, just be a wee bit careful, make sure you put your life jacket on as well. In the Taupo region, early morning harling's been going quite well. Now, the rivers themselves as well are fishing quite well. You've got a big moon at the moment, so the streammouth fishing in the evening at the change of light hasn't been that good. But with this overcast forecast for the weekend, you might get a nice fishing on, say, Saturday evening or Sunday evening with that overcast blocking out the moon. There's been some nice fish congregate around those streammouths, so well worth a look if you get down that Taupo region. Now, the sea fishing, I've got to talk about Kawhia and Raglan. Absolutely brilliant out there at the moment. The snapper fishing's been good in around about 35 to 40 metres of water. What this forecast is going to do out there might be a bit scruffy for a day or two. The game fishing is the number one out there at the moment. There's albacore around, there's skippies, there's kingfish and everything. More importantly, those elusive marlin are out there in good numbers at the moment. If you've got a nice fizz boat, what you call a nice trailer boat, it's capable of fishing the west coast. Then if you're trying to make a decision where you're going to try and catch a marlin this season, west coast is the place to head. Kilometres trolled for the amount of fish caught, definitely the west coast. Raglan and Kawhia, way ahead of the Bay of Plenty at the moment. They've got a competition going over there at the moment. There's been about 4 or 5 marlin caught with 100 boats fishing, so work it out for yourself. As I said, get out there if you can, but be careful of those bars. They're not for the faint-hearted. Talk to some of the charter skippers over there if you like. Follow them out. In the Coromandel region, it's been fishing quite well. It's still a lot of small fish around, and it has been a wee bit patchy. It's in that transitional period between sort of summer and autumn. The water's just starting to cool, but because we've had these 28 degrees days, so it hasn't cooled much really, and that's still keeping the little fish in around the farms there. Excellent tides for the weekend. Low tide in the afternoon about 3 o'clock, so fish that evening tide coming into the change of light. High tide around about 20 to 10, so that evening tide will be the best. During the daytime's fine as well. You got high tide in the morning around about 9:20. So if you get there really early in the morning at the change of light, you can fish that incoming tide up till 9 o'clock, and then of course you're on the outgoing. Over the hill into the Mercury Bay region and the Bay of Plenty, it's been a wee bit patchy. The snapper fishing's been quite good in the evening at the change of light, around the Merks, Slipper, those sort of areas there, out around the Aldies, Meron and Motiti. Very tough during the daytime, to be fair, most anglers are saying, but in that evening at the change of light, get plenty of burley going. and I'm sure that you'll get a nice feeder snapper. As I said, during the daytime out in the Bay of Plenty, the marlin fishing has been fairly hard. There's been a few around and some quite nice ones. Some big blues caught. Waiho Bay's gone a wee bit quiet as well. But if you're out there and you're going to Mere or somewhere like that, certainly put a couple of lures out the back, because you just don't know. You could be lucky enough to run over one of those big blues that are out there at the moment. There's been some caught around 250 to 280 kilos, so that would look real nice on the back of your boat. If you'd like to win a new reel for the month of March, then you can do that by giving us a call. Kilwell, fantastic sponsors. They've got beautiful gear. That reel could be yours by giving us a call on 0508 647462. That number again, 0508 647462. This has been Chris Bungard helping you plan your weekend's fishing. Hooked on Fishing was brought to you by Matamata Sports World. For all your friendly advice and service, see us first.